The 49ers win 30-24 in a close game that shouldn't have been close at all. The Niners, it really was a game of two halves, and the Niners came out like a bolt of lightning in the second half, only to give up the big lead. But in the end, they got the win going into the bye. Let's talk about it. Post-game live starts right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Post Game Live. I'm joined by Dre and Daniel, and today the Niners took care of business in Niner fashion this year. The Niners beat the Cowboys 30-24. Brock Purdy was 18-26 for 260 yards and a touchdown. Dak Prescott was dacking. He was 25-38 for 243, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Guys, this was a game the Niners had to have going into the bye week. Dre, what did you think of this win over the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, it's never a disappointment when you walk out of that stadium with a W. So give the 49ers credit for getting the win, however it looked. Ugly at times, really good at times. This was a mixed bag, but overall they got the win. You saw a lot of the same things we've been seeing week in and week out. I thought at least for this weekend, the special teams had a pretty clean game if you're looking at all three sides of the ball.
They did.
Offense struggled, to convert on a few important downs. Brock Purdy still a little shaky at times, but again, made the plays when he had to. I thought he used his legs when he needed to. I think over 50-plus yards rushing, so that was pretty big. Key moments, you had rookies stepping up at key times. You had the originals. George Kittle had a huge game. Debo had a couple monster plays, had one called back. Obviously, the penalties were a big issue in the first half. But overall, like I said, you're never gonna be disappointed with the W. So thank you, Kyle Shanahan, for simplifying the offense in the second half, letting Brock Purdy get into a rhythm. That's 4 in a row against the Cowboys. So I'll take that any day of the week.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. Daniel, what were your thoughts on this win over the Cowboys?
Let's go Niners, baby. That's what I think first. That was a must win going, just coming off a shitty loss against the Cheats. Real critical win. But the second half was really the game for the Niners because, offensively they came alive. Brock Purdy had a great first drive in the third quarter, making some great decisions with the ball. Running, he was literally a dual threat quarterback.
Absolutely.
In that second half. And, that's an element of his game that I think he can continue to develop and just make him that much more dangerous out on the field. Defensively wise, without giving up those last 2 touchdowns in the fourth fucking quarter, the defense looked really well. They were hitting hard. They were intercepting Dak. They were getting pressure on Dak. The run game of the Cowboys was non-existent, and that's what we've seen out of the Cowboys all season, and they kept it going against the Niners.
Absolutely.
Overall, I'm happy with the win. It was a little bit of an ugly win towards the end. I think they gave up like 160 yards to CD Lamb, maybe a little bit more. And then he killed us there in the fourth quarter. But how about freaking Anders Carlson, man? That guy.
Anders Carlson.
I was corrected earlier.
Anders Carlson.
Anders, like Andre, Anders Carlson. But go ahead.
Around here we say Anders. Anyways, he had a killer game. 3 really clutch field goals. The Niners have really struck it well, backing up Moody while Moody's been out.
Yeah.
It just shows that they can pick talent when they need to, obviously, and it was just a really nice win. Fuck the Cowboys.
Fuck the Cowboys is right. And
Yeah,
I was
well
so
said.
happy to see them win this game over the Dallas Cowboys because the Niners really needed this win. And going into the bye week, we have a lot of good things coming after the bye week, but this was a game that we had to have. Now, guys, before we get any further, just want to do a big shout out to our sponsors of the DreArea Sports Show, of Post Game Live. SeatGeek is one of the proud sponsors of Post Game Live. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save $20 on your first purchase over at SeatGeek.com. My father-in-law used the same promo code, and he saved $20 to go to the Warrior game in Utah where they whooped their ass, even though the Warriors lost today. This show is also brought to you by BetUS. BetUS will match you up to 125% on your first $2,000. Use promo code DreArea Sports when using BetUS. That is the #1 sports betting book on the internet. Definitely check out BetUS. And of course, this broadcast is also brought to you by PowerBrandSystems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or your YouTube channel, YouTube social media, whatever you need it for, then check out PowerBrandSystems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase of PowerBrandSystems. Use your referral code or referral link in the description below when making that purchase over at PowerBrandSystems. If you want an example of how good of a job they can do on a website, then head over to my website, which is nicotina.net. That's the homepage for all three of my channels, including DreArea Sports, where memberships are available and are active, and you become a member for as low as $1 a month to support the channel. So definitely check out nicotina.net and become a member and join the community where you can talk to these two badasses right here and other people as well, other fans, other social media influencers. Definitely check out nicotina.net, become a member of the DreArea Sports community, and become a member of the DreArea Sports channel. Okay, so with that being said, let's take a look at the numbers of this game. Where's that? I guess it's gonna be me. Okay, there we go. So let's take a look at the numbers. Go up to the top here. Brock Purdy, like I said, was 18-26 for 260 yards and 1 touchdown. He was sacked twice. Dak Prescott was 25 of 38 for 243, 2 touchdowns, and 2 costly picks. And that was one thing that I loved about the Niners was that they didn't turn the ball over. There was a couple of times where I thought Guerrero was going to fumble the fucking ball, but they didn't turn the ball over, and that was huge because it kept the Niners in the advantage. Here you had Dak Prescott throwing 2 costly interceptions. One was badly underthrown because of Nick Bosa put the pressure on him, and Jair Brown came up with the interception. The other came at the absolute worst time ever when the Niners had just scored a touchdown to start the second half, and then Dak throws a pass to CeeDee Lamb on the sideline on the run, and it was underthrown, and Deommodore Lenoir made an incredible play to pick that off. And, dude, I can't say enough about Demo Lenoir. He's so fucking good as our cornerback. He is right now, he is our #1 cornerback. He's better than Mooney Ward. Mooney Ward, there's something wrong with him. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with him. He is not at the caliber that he was at in the previous 3 years. Yeah. He's just been a step below everybody else. I'm not sure why. But he made, like I said, Demo made a great interception. Offensively, Isaac Guerrero, 14 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah,
the thing I love the most about Guerrero is that as soon as he got the ball, he was running at full speed. In previous games, it seemed like when they'd hand the ball off to him, he was kind of slowing down, looking for the lane, kind of thinking about what he's doing. This time, as soon as he got that ball, it was full speed ahead, and he looked really, really good as our running back in place of J.P. Mason, who again hurt his shoulder. Mason ended the game with 6 carries for 18 yards. But Guerrero, a touchdown, 85 yards running, and he had the big run at the end of the game to seal the game for the Niners. Guys, what did you think of Isaac Guerrero, Daniel?
I thought he looked great out there. He was hitting the lanes hard, making people miss. His speed was really on showcase tonight.
Yes.
When he got through some of those gaps, I mean, you just saw him explode.
Mhm.
And, he doesn't have all the elusiveness like a Mason does or even a CMC, but boy, he makes up at that with just super speed.
Speed.
You can see that he has super speed. And he has heads up play. I mean, you saw him in the fourth quarter. Instead of going for that touchdown, he just slid down and let the clock wind out. And that's smart. That's a team player right there.
It's winning football.
That's winning football. And that's what you want to see. He missed a couple blocks there. There was a blitz coming up.
Oh,
and,
yeah, he really did.
He missed the blitz pickup, and it ended up costing, I think, a sack. But those are things that those kind of young players will learn and be able to see and move faster to the to that blitzer. But other than that, I mean, the guy played incredible coming off the bench. So awesome job.
Yeah,
awesome job. Dre, what did you think of Isaac Guerendo?
Well, Daniel pretty much hit it right on the nose. There's not really too much more I can add to that, although for the fact that, I mean, he's getting really a lot of good reps right now. Obviously, he's getting on the field due to all the injuries the Niners have been going through and are continuing to go through. But this is crucial for his development. I think, obviously, the more he plays, the more comfortable he gets with the scheme, the more comfortable he gets finding the lanes, finding the holes, and pretty much allowing his athletic ability to dictate what he's doing on the field. So this is all good for him. He obviously was a big part of the offense. We really had no choice after JP went down for, the second time. I believe he could have been well enough to come back into the game, but I think because Guerendo was rolling, Kyle Shanahan had no choice but to go with the hot hand, keep JP off the field, keep him at least viable for, after the bye week and stuff. And we can at least be going into that game a lot more healthy. I'll kind of bring up an earlier point about Brock Purdy, and you talked about the turnover battle. I mean, you can pinpoint a couple of really scary moments where Brock Purdy, I think, obviously lost the ball. I think he made a crucial error when he tried to throw as he was rolling out to the sideline late in the game. The ball got batted down. We're lucky the Dallas Cowboys do not have hands on the defense, because that ball could have been going the other way and the game could have been changed real quick. So there's a couple of close calls, I think, that the Niners really got lucky. They definitely got to look at that. Brock Purdy's got to be a lot smarter in those with those decisions. But I mean, overall, made the plays when he needed to. But I mean, that turnover battle definitely could have been flipped the other way had a lot of that fallen the Cowboys' way.
Yeah, I think so. And, defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, I think, really did his homework, because there were a lot of plays that the Niners ran that he was ready for. Even the handoff to Juice on the goal line. They used that same, if not a similar play, to score a touchdown in the previous game. And he was ready for it. They stuffed him. Yeah, and look, give them some credit. I mean, they did a great job at containing our running game until Guerendo got in there, and his speed made a huge difference. Yeah. And they were trying something, and they were being steady with trying something about the 6-man front. Basically, he was daring Brock Purdy to beat them. He was like, I don't believe you can beat us. I believe that if we have a 6-man front and we come at you every time you're in shotgun, you're going to make mistakes. And guess what? He really didn't make any mistakes at all. And Celeste, I agree, super speed. Isaac Guerendo had some super speed. When you look at the running game for the Dallas Cowboys, which is not very good to begin with, Zeke Elliott, 34 yards rushing. He did have the touchdown. But really, the passing game is what I want to look at. George Kittle, he had 6 catches for 128 yards and 1 touchdown. He absolutely dominated out there, and he was the main reason why in the second half the Niners were able to break away and start building that lead, was the plays that they made to George Kittle and also to Deebo Samuel as well. When we look at all the stats, Deebo Samuel was 4 catches for 71 yards. He did lead the game with a rib injury, but he has 2 weeks to recover, so let's hope he gets back in 2 weeks and he's back out in the field. Ricky Pearsall, 4 catches, 38 yards. If you look at that, right, if you look at the 4 catches, 38 yards, he pretty much did what Brandon Ayuk would have done. 4 catches, 38 yards. Perfect. And I thought he looked good. It's not like Brandon Ayuk is a burner. He's not. But I liked what I saw from Ricky Pearsall. I liked his route running ability. And on top of that, he also did that end around where he ran for 39 fucking yards. And that was great to see him out there. He's very athletic. He's not the fastest guy, but he's shifty. And I just like what he brings to the team.
Yeah.
Dre, what'd you think of Ricky Pearsall? There you go, Annalisa. Slick Rick. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys smash that like button and leave a positive comment. It helps with the algorithm. It helps other fans pick up the stream on their end. But Dre, what'd you think of Ricky Pearsall and his game today?
No, it's good to see him out there, after everything he's been through. That's a shot in the arm for the entire team, for the entire organization. Somebody who gets very close to losing their life and is able to recover quickly. And he's already on the field. He's already back with the team making plays. Mm-hmm. He looked really good. No drops, caught all the passes thrown to him. Had that great, like you mentioned, that great end-around run. So if he can be versatile in that regard, we could utilize him there. That bodes well for the offense. Just another weapon. Yeah. I thought he looked great, and he will continue to get more comfortable in the offense. And he's obviously going to have to step in. He's going to have to grow up real quick and replace Brandon Ayuk. We'll get Juwan Jennings back, but he's going to be a big part of this offense moving forward.
Yeah. It really felt like Ricky Pearsall was in the Brandon Ayuk spot. He had a lot of crossing routes, and really, I mean, look, when you compare what Brandon Ayuk was doing on the year, he was on par. 4 catches, 38 yards, but he had the big end around for 39 yards. I thought he had a really good game. I thought he brought a more dynamic presence, similar to what Deebo brings to the team. Daniel, what'd you think of Pearsall? Were you happy to see him out there?
Oh yeah, I think as a Niner fan, you gotta be happy to see that guy out there. I mean, he's overcome a lot of challenges just to get on the field.
He got shot in the chest. That's one thing.
He got shot, man. So I think last week he had like 3 catches. This week he pumped up to 4, but he's getting looks. He's getting open. He's not the focal point of the offense. He is, there to kind of supplement and, hopefully get some gains. And he played well, but, George Kittle, it was a savage tonight. That guy was catching and he was getting that yak, yards after the catch. And that was huge for the Niners offense when he was able to do that. He was clutch. He tore up those linebackers and that punk ass. Who was supposed to come to the Niners? Was that Hendricks?
Kendrick.
Kendricks. Yeah. So all those guys got some Kittle love there. They
got what they deserve.
They've got what they deserve. So it was great to see Ricky out there.
No, it was great, and I think he's really good. I mean, he looked comfortable out there. He looked comfortable in this offense. And like I said, filling in for Brandon Ayuk, I thought he looked really, really good. Now, I don't know if he was the X receiver every single time, but just filling in for the injured Brandon Ayuk, I thought he looked really good. I also thought that Chris Conley, he ran that pick on the goal line, which freed up George Kittle for a wide open touchdown. Pick in which Bill Vinovich was like, that was pass interference, right? And they were like, no, it wasn't. Okay. If that was, dude, I'm telling you, if that was the Chiefs, they would have said pass interference.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Fuck you, Niners.
Absolutely.
Automatic.
Automatic.
All hail Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, all hail the great Patrick Mahomes. But what about Brock Purdy, man? His rush, he had 8 rushes for 56 yards and a touchdown. His longest was a 16-yard run. My God, this guy, like I said, this is a tale of 2 halves. In the first half, I was so frustrated with the shit that not only Brock Purdy, but what the offense was doing. It looked stagnant. It looked dysfunctional. It was like, what the fuck is going on? They only scored 6 fucking points in the first half, and it felt like they should have scored at least 17. And In the second half, they came out in the third quarter and scored 21 points. Obviously Dak Prescott helped them out with a stupid pick that he threw, but Brock looked decisive. He was accurate, and he was running with the ball and just wreaking havoc on the defense. Dre, what did you think of Brock Purdy on his second half performance?
Decisive, on time, on schedule, utilizing his playmakers, getting them the ball in space, allowing them to get that yards after catch. And I think you got to give credit to Kyle Shanahan for, like I said earlier, simplifying it, cutting the drop steps, and just getting those crossing routes going. You saw a lot of that in the second half.
Yeah.
And it bode well for the offense, and it's good to see. And I think a lot of Niner fans are encouraged moving forward. The Niners offense can be very potent, and once you get all your weapons back, there's no telling how more potent they can be. So I think it's good what we saw tonight, and that's, 21 straight points in one quarter tells you how the Niners can just score in an instant and score continuously. So that's encouraging moving forward. You're going to need this bye week to get healthy, get some of those offensive weapons back, and kind of hit the ground running. So a good showcase definitely in the second half. First half, just very, like you said, uncharacteristic, penalties, kind of just beating ourselves, and a lot of some points taken off the board due to the penalties. So definitely tale of two halves, and it's good to see them, especially in that second half, kind of trending in the direction we need to see.
Yeah. And Maya has a really good quote here saying, I think Kyle finally listened to his team today. I think what happened, for me at least, it felt like in the second half, they went back to what works, doing those crossing patterns, letting Brock, just everything they did on offense it felt like the old 49ers of last year and the year before. Yeah. And they were doing more end arounds. They were being more creative on offense. It felt like they kind of went back to what normally works. Yeah. And they went away from, the 7-step drops, the 5-step drops. Mm-hmm. He even hiked the ball under center. He got fucking sacked, but like the Niners were more prepared in the second half. Mm-hmm. And I think that Kyle Shanahan showed that, hey, look, I'm going to make some adjustments because I see what they're doing. Now we're going to take advantage of those adjustments that he made. Daniel, what did you think about the adjustments that were made in the second half?
Well, I thought they were great because, we were watching the game. Both Dre and I were watching the game, and, we were talking like, hey, Kyle needs to do something in the second half where Purdy can get into a good rhythm. And that's making quick decisions, letting him make those quick decisions. And that's what you saw. You saw more of the natural instincts that someone like that Brock Purdy has, where if the pass is not there, just freaking run. Just go for it. And, he wasn't hesitating. So he was making those reads. If it wasn't there, go. You didn't see him running sideline to sideline, trying to get someone open, trying to make a big play. You didn't see any of that tonight. And in that second half, the Niners scored 21 points in the third quarter.
21 points.
So, Brock Purdy outrushed Lamar Jackson today.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's huge. If you want to compare him to Lamar Jackson, well, I just did.
So,
they're totally different quarterbacks, but I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. But hey, you're talking about one of the premier dual threat quarterbacks in the history of NFL, Lamar Jackson. So seeing Brock being able to do that, on Sunday Night Football was impressive. And he just made good decisions with the ball. There was a couple plays there in that second half where you're like, oh shit, no, Brock, don't go ahead.
Yeah. It was good seeing Kyle Shanahan giving Brock Purdy that extra support and not throwing everything on his shoulders, having him go drop back and try to win the game. I love seeing how Kyle Shanahan did not abandon the run today, even though he had a rookie out there carrying the rock. It's good to know that, the game plan was to play smash mouth football. Everything we've done against the Cowboys in the past has obviously worked. It would have been a disservice to try and change that up last second. So really good to see Kyle Shanahan not abandon the run tonight and allowing his running backs to support Brock Purdy. And I thought it was a really well-balanced game calling from Kyle Shanahan with the run and the pass. Only 26 attempts from Brock. You know, he didn't exceed 30 attempts. The carries, I believe, was 30 to 35, I believe, somewhere in between there.
Yeah, the
So
overall carries were, I just had it up too, was 36 carries in total, 36 to 19 against the Cowboys.
See, that's what you want to see. You want to see a well-balanced scheme from Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
It's obviously worked pretty much his whole tenure here, so it's good to see him get back to that.
And go ahead.
I thought, just think about Isaac Guerrero. I mean, I wasn't too big on it at the beginning of the year, him and Mason, but that kid has some talent.
Mm-hmm.
And, what he displayed, granted it's against the Cowgirls, but what he displayed against the Cowgirls was that he is one step away from breaking it.
Yeah.
This guy has incredible speed, and
he can be a finisher, definitely.
Oh, definitely. And what you saw out of him was much different than you see out of Mason, where Mason will kind of bulldoze through hand, through arm tackles,
He wants
where Isaac Guerrero, he finds those lanes and he is gone. I mean, it is super speed,
fast enough to avoid that contact, and that can bode well for his longevity in the league. The fact that he can hit the hole and pretty much go untouched with his breakaway speed. I mean, and his size too. It's crazy to think a guy his size can run like that. That's a weapon, and that's something that the Niners hopefully can find ways to get him on the field in the future, and even with all the depth in running back with Christian McCaffrey and JP. So I mean, another great weapon to have, and you hope he can stay healthy and continue to develop in this offense.
Well, you could argue too that the offense really came to life once Guerrero came in the game. I mean, he had 3 consecutive big runs, one of which was called back because of a fucking holding call. But no, he had a really good game. In fact, as a team, the Niners were averaging 6.2 a carry. That's a lot. The Cowboys were averaging 2.9, so they really had no rushing game whatsoever. In fact, when you look at the comparison to, let's say, first downs, the passing first downs, the Cowboys were 13, Niners were 9. Rushing first downs, Cowboys had 3, Niners had 10.
That's good.
So, I mean, they were really 9 and 10. They were really spreading the ball around through the air and on the ground as well. So they looked really good, and I like the way that they were attacking them, especially in the second half. And remember this too, is that the Cowboys actually had 2 fumbles that they landed on. So like there were 2 fumbles that they had that they were able to recover, and that could have changed the whole game right there if the Niners were able to jump on those fumbles, because their tight end, what was his name? Ferguson, he had a fumble close to the red zone that he was able to recover, which then led to a field goal. If they would have got that, that could have changed things as well. CeeDee Lamb did kind of go off, so we do got to give him credit for that.
Coverages, in my opinion.
CeeDee Lamb, 13 catches for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. And for some fucking reason, and Sorensen's pissing me off tonight, in the second half when they went up 27-10, all of a sudden they started playing back. They started playing prevent to try and make sure that they didn't give up that big play. But what did they do? They gave up the big play twice, and they had big chunk yardage plays, which led to 2 CeeDee Lamb touchdowns. I'm sorry, but you can't give that shit up. You gotta stick to your game plan and just keep it coming at the Cowboys. I couldn't believe what I saw from our defense. It's like right when the offense got it together, the defense gave it up. And I was just like, guys, come on.
Still haven't really seen that complete game pretty much since week 1. So it's frustrating when you're dominating the game and then it just flips in an instant, kind of like it did tonight. It was a tale of 2 quarters in the second half. We dominated the third. Cowboys dominated the fourth. They got back into it. It was a couple of sustainable drives for the Niners that ended up icing the game when it mattered. So you're still seeing the inconsistencies with this team, and especially on the defense. The offense is humming, the defense is down, and vice versa. So you hope that moving forward, again, with all the weapons coming back, you can get that complete game and you can get that that dominance on both sides of the ball and really feel feel really good about the wins. I know, like I said, it's hard to win in this league, and you have to take every win that you can. But for them to almost give up the lead again, and we had those thoughts circulating that this could potentially happen again on Sunday night primetime football. You don't want to see that, especially to the rival Cowboys, but Cowgirls.
And Annalisa, I agree. Yes, good teams, we can't give up those points at the end. You got to be able to close out games. That's one thing that they need to improve on coming out of the bye, is they can't be giving up these leads. And hopefully they do. Hopefully they figure this out going into Tampa in 2 weeks. I think they will, and I think they're going to beat the Buccaneers, to be honest with you, especially without Godwin and Evans. That's big. Rockin' New Era 84 says, "Hey yo, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
What's up?"
Our kicker came through. A 50-yard kick in the beginning just to get us on the board. Yes, Anders Carlson had a really good game. He was 3 of 3. Anders. He was 3 of 3 for kicks. And his longest was a 50-yarder.
Yeah, no, solid.
He actually contributed 12 points to the Niner lead. So no, he was big.
He was
big.
And you saw him make the adjustments because it was windy down there. You saw the flags gusting. On the screen, it's gusting to the right, but that's going east, I'm assuming. But you saw him make the adjustments due to the wind, and he was able to get that ball basically right down the middle on all 3 of those field goals with room to spare.
Yeah,
plenty of room.
Plenty of room to spare. I mean, he could have kicked those from further out. So
good to see.
Hell of a pick up there by John Lynch and that Niner team. So.
Now, going to the defense, overall, I thought the defense played a really good game, except for those 2 drives where they gave up those touchdowns, which made the game a 6-point game. That's where they have to kind of clean that up, and they cannot let that happen. But overall, when you look at the performance of the defense, I thought Jair Brown, who had, 5 total tackles, he was everywhere.
Yes.
In that backfield, and he was great against the run. Him and Malik Mustafa, who also had 5 tackles as well. And Mustafa had that big breakup in the back of the end zone, going up against, I believe it was Ferguson. I want to say
it was against the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did he break it up once, he broke it up twice, all in the same motion. Yeah. That was incredible. Moody Ward had 7 tackles, but again, I felt like he was struggling. The pass interference call in the end zone, you could argue that, like, hey, look, he's got to do a better job with that. But in my opinion, there was nothing he could do. That guy was way bigger than him. He was just fucked. He was on an island all by himself.
He was fully boxed out on that play, and I think he was just going for it. Screw it.
Yeah.
If you stop him here and make him go from the 1, why not?
Rockin' New Era writes, defense needs to tighten up and not give up points and give opposing team life. Yes, exactly. That's something that they need to figure out moving into the second half of the season. When you're going up against teams like the Bills, the Packers, you can't be giving up leads like that. No, you just cannot do that because they will eat you up.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and you also saw the safeties come down and give some great run support. They made some really nice tackles. They were going for the Cowboys when they had that ball, and it was just great to see Brown and Mustafa come down, just
run support.
Make some run support and just do some timely tackling. And that's what you really need to see is good tackling. You got to have some good tackling by this team.
And that's one of the problems, too, that we've had with Charvarius Ward is that a lot of times, like especially against the Chiefs ran towards him on his side almost every single time. Wherever he was at, they were running in that direction because Ward is not good against the run. He tends to he doesn't get involved in stopping the run.
Mm-hmm.
But in today's game, the Cowboys had no run games. They were just like, oh well. So that benefited the Niners. One thing I will say, out of all the shit I've talked about this guy and how bad he's played pretty much all year, I thought Devondre Campbell probably had his best game of the year. In the first half, he made 2 big-time tackles one in the running game, and it was two in the running game, but he was more of a presence out there against the Cowboys. I thought he had his best game of the year, so I was happy to see Devondre Campbell actually producing positively. The other guy was Renardo Green, again showing really good tackling ability. There was a screenplay off to Dak's left, and he made that tackle. He grabbed his leg and didn't let him go, and it was a no gain, and it was a really good shutdown tackle, and I love seeing it for Renardo Green. I thought that his coverage as well was really, really good. The corners in general played really well. Now, obviously, Ward needs to get better, but overall, though, the secondary, I thought, did a really good job against the Cowboys until those last two drives where they scored 2 touchdowns, which was like, what the fuck? And it pissed me off that Jair Brown and Mustafa hit each other. Oh, no, and Green hit each other.
Yeah.
And that freed up
CeeDee injured on that play or something. I think isn't Green on the injury report now?
He has an ankle injury, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back by
hopefully
by the Buccaneers.
Just got dinged up a little bit. Yeah. No, we're gonna
that was a bad play. I think Brown came in really hot to pick up I don't know if it was a tight end that was sprinting out and just ran into Green, and Green fell down and CeeDee Lamb caught a touchdown.
It was not good. It was really bad, and that was like high school football. I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
But overall, though, when they gave up those 2 touchdowns, I noticed that, especially, I think it was the first one they gave up, the defense, Floyd, what's his name? Leonard Floyd was out of the game, and they had in Robert Beal was in there, and I want to say Nick Bosa was out of the game too. They had taken out their stars to give the other guys more chances, and then they started scoring touchdowns. Then they had to put them back in the game, like, oh, fuck. Which, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You can't let up, because teams are expecting that now from the Niners. Hey, if they go up on a lead, they have a tendency of giving up their lead. So, don't let up on them, because they will give it up.
Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully D. Winters is okay. He kind of knocked himself out.
He got a concussion. He
got concussed.
He's definitely going to need the 2 weeks to get back onto the field.
Yeah, get his.
I'll say this though. That hit that he put on special teams, that was the hit he should have put on Patrick Mahomes last week. I don't care if it's a fucking 15-yarder. I wish he would have lit him up.
Send a message.
Yeah, send a message. Who cares? Hey, we're gonna lose anyway.
Absolutely.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why he didn't do that. And instead he went past him like, oh, he overshot him. Ah! And everybody else just like tripped out.
Yeah, straight up.
Annalisa, where's my mouse at? Annalisa writes his MVP for defense was Jair Brown, and her MVP for offense was George Kittle. We're gonna get to that later in the game, but she wanted to jump ahead. That's fine. I think it's Maya asked, who's the MVP? They're controlling the show. I control the show. Come on. Okay, so yeah. Hey, look at me. Look, I'm the captain now. Okay, so let's go to the podium and let's hear a little bit from Kyle Shanahan after the game. I actually liked a lot of what I heard from Kyle Shanahan because he's being a little more candid. But let's take a look. Oh, can't hear it. I can't. What the hell?
There it is.
Maybe could have, but came in. He was ready to go. JP got banged up. JP tried to come back and maybe could have, but Isaac was rolling and did a good job.
What was the halftime message? You guys obviously came out really well in the third quarter. So is there anything?
Stop having penalties. Stop having penalties. There was no message. It was we got to stop hurting ourselves. We had I think 7.5 yards of play in the first half, and had a bunch of big penalties that I thought really hurt us. Debo's obvious one getting called back, a couple of the holdings on some long runs, and then missing that 4th down was big. We felt we were doing some good stuff, but we hurt ourselves, and it was nice to start off in the third quarter and go down and score right away. And D started rolling. I think we got a turnover the next drive and did it again, and got on a little groove there for a little bit.
What was the concern level there in the fourth quarter when they were coming back?
Big. I mean, when you're up 17 or whatever it was, 13, and then take it to a 6-point game and you're getting the ball with 3 minutes left. I mean, that's just normal football. And for the D to struggle for a couple series like they did, and then when they got it back for a possible game-winning drive to go 4 and out was huge.
What was so special about how you played in the second half?
Real quick, I will say this, is that last drive where the Cowboys had a chance to win the game, the defense did come up big. They had pressure on Dak Prescott. He looked scared. He was inaccurate because of the pressure. And at the end, I mean, in most cases this year especially, that last passing play would have been a pass interference call. But no, they played perfect coverage.
Yeah.
Jair Brown did not overcommit. He backed off of him enough to where they couldn't throw the flag, and it was a turnover on downs. I thought they played so good on that last drive. But that's the way they need to play for the rest of that fourth quarter and not let up and let them get back in the game. All right, let's hear what he has to say.
And do you think this is a sign of things to come after the bye?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think it was a gut check for him. I mean, for all of us, things in the first half, we were close, but it didn't go great. Brock, there's a couple plays I know he'd love to have back, and I thought he came out in the second half, and there's a few plays that weren't there, and he did a hell of a job extending with his feet. The one in particular, we're trying to throw a screen to Debo, and the DN peeled with it, and means you have no play, and he just ran and turned it into a 16-yarder. So he did some real big things there in the second half.
You're just like we said about the red zone issues in recent week. Of course, the 49ers came out with a lot of poise on those drives and scored 24 unanswered points. Talk about how they were able to solve those red zone issues.
I mean, it was just one game. It's a long year. We'll see where we end up in the red zone at the end of the year, but I thought we ran the ball much better down there, and that helps.
You're just coming off of this McCall. You're 4-4 going into the bye. Can you assess how these first 8 games have gone and what you see coming up in the second half?
I can maybe do that for you tomorrow. I'm just thinking about this game right now, but I'm glad, you always go into a season, you expect to win them all. So you're not exactly where you want to be, but going into this game, we knew this was a big win. We didn't want to be 3-5 going into the bye week, having your backs against the wall like that. Getting that win was huge. Being 4-4, not at all the record that we wanted when we set out. But when you look at our division and everything, feeling a real good spot, and especially finishing it here with a win. Hopefully we can take some time off, rest a little bit, get a couple guys back hopefully, and come back and string some wins together here in the second half.
So, again, Kyle Shanahan had a lot of good things to say. I love when they said, hey, what was your halftime talk? Or would the leaders speak? No, he's like, the people don't do that. It's only in movies. But it was like, don't make penalties. Stop making penalties. That's going to, they had a touchdown. A big play to Debo Samuel, called back because of a holding call by Eric Saubert. I was like, holy fuck. A big run by Isaac Guerrero, called back for a holding call on George Kittle. It was just one thing after another in that first half. Again, we're playing against a team like the Cowboys who, let's face it, they're not very good. A better team takes advantage of that. But look, when you look at what they were able to do defensively against both the Cowboys and the Chiefs, yes, we lost to the Chiefs. But if you look at it in a whole, they shut down Travis Kelce and they shut down what Patrick Mahomes was able to do from the air. He had a really shitty game besides that one run.
Yeah, seriously.
And then if you take away what, Dak did have those 2 touchdowns because, the defense kind of let up. Without those, I mean, he threw for 243 yards. He probably only throws for $150 and no touchdowns and 2 picks. So they really, really kind of reduced what Dak could do. Now, Dak can't even run anymore because ever since his foot got turned sideways, he's not a runner. I think there was some times where he could have run, but he just doesn't have it in him. I don't know why, but he doesn't. And, it's just good to see the Niners really kind of clamp down defensively on the Cowboys. Second half, though, I mean, look, third quarter, 21 points. The Cowboys scored 14 in the fourth quarter. That's what you cannot let happen. It's one thing if they scored 7. It's one thing if they scored 3, 6. But giving up 14 fucking points, that's just too much, man. Too much.
Yeah, you can't allow that. You can't allow teams like that to get any kind of momentum to get back in the game. Because, I mean, we're up by, what was it? 2 scores essentially, or 3 scores. And you give them basically 14 points in a basket. It's like, come on, you guys. This is the kind of stuff that you want to see the Niners avoid
No.
is, allowing
Absolutely.
teams to get back in the game and putting your defense on in pressure situations when they don't need to be, and the offense out there when they have to convert. But it is what it is. It's football, and this is what it is. So, against better teams, you really can't do that against better
Do you think this is a case of bad coaching, or do you think it's like in terms of Sorensen's kind of letting up defensively, or do you think the Niners players are becoming complacent?
No, I don't think it's the players. I think it's the scheme. You see it on TV. You see the D-backs 7 yards off of the receiver, and you're just like, okay, so what's going on here? And you see the mismatches that the Cowboys were able to use in the game against the Niners, especially in that fourth quarter, where even throughout the game, a couple of times I think I saw CD Lamb trying to be covered by Campbell. And you're just like, oh no, that's a big mismatch, and you're thinking, boy, was he in the slot or something or what? So, I think it's Sorensen. I think he needs to kind of, have that killer instinct for 4 quarters instead of, for 3 quarters, and that's the problem with the Niners. They haven't been able to play 4 full quarters this season. I mean, right now they're sitting in second place. So that was great because at the beginning of the day, I think they were in third or fourth place. Mm-hmm. So they moved up, into second place, and we're going to play the Seahawks, I think right after the Buccaneers. Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to whoop their ass too.
Let's crush those kids.
Game's at home. That game's at home.
Yes.
Game's at home. We already beat them, up at Seattle. So I feel confident that we'll beat them here at Levi Stadium. We saw a lot of good things from the offense in the second half. We saw how fast they can score. Brock looked decisive. Brock was running. And I really feel like Brock was playing with more motivation, a higher sense of urgency in that second half because he knew how shitty he played in the first half. There were a couple of plays in the first half. Third down, he had a pass to Kittle that he overthrew. That was on Brock. And then on fourth down, the crossing route to Deebo Samuel, he threw it behind him. And that was on him, 100%. And I think he took that with him, obviously, in the halftime and told himself, I got to play better. And he did. He played a lot better in the second half. But what got me worried was that the Niners gave up those 14 points. And when they did that, the offense came back out in the field, the Niners offense, and I kept thinking, okay, are you going to be able to score when we need you to? And they didn't. They went, eventually they stalled out and they had to punt the ball, and it was like, oh my God. What really pissed me off about that drive was that you had a 3rd and 1, and Kyle Shanahan elects to do a play action and have Brock roll out to his right, and that's the play that almost ended up as an interception. When really, a 3rd and 1, just do a quarterback sneak. It had been working the entire game. You got a touchdown out of it. You got a first down out of it. I think you got 2 first downs out of it. Do it again. Just quarterback sneak and get that first down and keep the chains moving. Instead, he tried to get cute. He tried to do a play action. They were absolutely ready for it. And even when Brock tried to run, there was a spy waiting for him. So he couldn't run. That's why he ended up having to back up. And then he tried to do something stupid when he should have just threw the ball away.
On the way. Yeah.
Yeah, or just slide and be like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah.
I mean, thank God that was a linebacker or safety. He couldn't even catch the ball, and if he got that probably would have been 6 points.
It might have been. There was nobody there but Brock.
There was no one there besides Brock, and there was 2 other Cowboys right there. So it's like, oh, that's going to be a pick 6. We got lucky on that one. But
you want to talk about a choke job? I mean, look, the Niners come out in halftime, they score a touchdown, and they look really good. They had that big play to George Kittle. I think it was like a 38-yard play. It was really nice.
Set up the touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah. The Cowboys come back out, and Dak throws a fucking interception on a stupid play. And that's the thing. This is the guy you paid all this money to, and he keeps making these bad decisions, especially against the Niners. I mean, look, watching them play against the Niners, this is like how we play against the Chiefs. Or, especially last week, we're just like, oh, we can't do anything right,
We just fall apart.
just fall apart. So another good thing too that I wanted to bring up, and it's an area the Niners have been struggling in, is the red zone. The red zone, they were 3 for 4 in their red zone possessions. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that's good to see.
I mean, in the past games, they would have been 1 for 4, and they would have lost. Like fuck.
Yeah, I think in that final fourth quarter, I'm not sure how much Debo played, but that obviously had an effect on the offense. And obviously, you utilize Debo in the run game, you move him around, you motion him. So I think missing that element, had a lot to do with maybe not being able to sustain that drive at the end. Yes, you want Brock Purdy to make good decisions. Maybe you want to put the ball on the ground, continue to give Garenda the ball, what's been working the whole game. But yeah, it is something that I think a lot of 49er fans and me as well, you want to have that faith that, if the opposing team towards the end of the game puts the pressure on you, you have to score. Let's say the Cowboys just, take that lead and we need a touchdown or we need some type of points to go, to get the lead back and ultimately win the game. It would be nice to see the offense sustain that drive and then put up those points when it's, when the game is on the line. And we saw a lot of that at the end of the season last year, and we haven't really seen it this year, especially in some crucial games. And especially, most of the time we've had the lead and we've given it up. So we haven't even really had that opportunity. I agree with you about that, the end of the game and not being able to finish the game with us having that ball, And so,
the Niners had the ball with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And when they gave it back to the Cowboys, there was like 3 and change, 3 minutes and like 20 seconds. It was like, that's all you guys could muster. Yeah. And again, you have a 3rd and 1, just quarterback sneak it. Even if you don't get the first down, the clock keeps running and you force them to use a timeout. That was the one time in this game, especially in the second half, that I thought Kyle Shanahan just tried to get cute and do, hey, you know what? I'm gonna run a play action and roll up Brock, and they were ready for it. And really, it should have just been either a run up the middle or a quarterback sneak, and just get the first down. That's all you got to focus on is just get that first down and keep the clock rolling. I don't know why he went away from that, but overall, though, when you look at the time of possession from the Niners to the Cowboys had the ball for 26 minutes and 48 seconds. Niners had the ball for 33 minutes and 12 seconds. So they won time of possession, which was great. And another interesting stat as well is that, where is it? Total plays. No, I'm sorry. Total drives. Both teams had 12 drives apiece. The Cowboys had 292 total yards. The Niners had 469 total yards. So they did more than double their yards. Well, a little less than double. But still, they were producing more on offense than the Cowboys were. And so that's why it's frustrating to see them give up 14 points in the fourth quarter, because that really shouldn't have happened. This should have been a blowout. Yeah. And, it is what it is. But, hey, at the end of the day, they got the win that they had to get. If we would have lost this game, I don't know where this would have been a bad. This would have been a bad episode. I would have been pissed.
Oh, but, that would have been shitty.
Totally
really
shitty.
Around, going into the over 500. Yeah, all bad.
Yeah,
because they keep doing this every game. I mean, the only game they didn't do this was against the Jets and against the Chiefs, because the Chiefs kicked their ass.
Yeah, definitely.
But in every game, they let the team get back in the game. Now, if you look at their season, right, and this is a hindsight, it doesn't mean anything, but the Niners had a chance of going 6-2 into this bye. 6-1 into this bye if they beat the Rams and beat the Cardinals. Those two were costly losses for the Niners. Imagine being 7-1 right now. Totally different.
Totally different. And in a lot of ways, you can kind of look at the Niners and be like, so if they were 7-1, I mean, obviously we would be number 1 in the division by a few games.
A landslide, yeah.
For sure. And still kind of playing the way they've been playing, because those 2 losses, it's not like we got blown out or anything like that. Yeah. It was self-inflicted essentially.
Well, it was leads they gave up. I mean, the Cardinals, they gave up a lead in the second half. The Rams, they gave up a lead in the second half. If you beat both those teams, then That means that the Cardinals would be, because they're what?
They're 4-4.
They're 4-4, so they would be 3-4, and the Rams would be 2-5, just buried, and you'd be 7-1.
7-1.
Probably 6-2. That Minnesota game, I would probably count as a.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they lost that game, but even that game, they were still in the game.
We were in it. I think the fourth quarter, at the tail end of the fourth quarter, it got away from them a little bit.
Yeah.
But we were in that game the whole time. So the only game we really got our asses kicked was that Chiefs game. So
Steve, you're gonna come in here and say this is another 40 Winders channel. Everyone crying. What are you talking about? You've been here plenty of times, and no, we're talking about the Niners win. But we're talking about what they have done in the past this season that gives us, some concern moving into the second half of the season. Now, one of the things I wanted to bring up was what we got coming back after the bye. But before we do that, let's jump over to Demo Lenore. He's got something to say in the locker room after his interception.
Pro Bowl
I feel like I want to be like a snowboarder today. Snowboard swag.
And a Jimmy Garoppolo Rams jersey.
Jimmy Garoppolo Rams jersey.
He's got the ball to the interception.
Jimmy, what did you feel from the defensive line getting after Dak Prescott? How did it feel in the back there?
Oh, they was actually humming all day. Shout out to our D line. There was a big reason on this dub right here. With them causing all the stress over Dak. I couldn't thank them enough.
Demo, take us through the interception.
So I'm a big film guy. So I seen the formation that they was in. I noticed they run that formation a lot. Knew it was an indicator of sprint out. And I just took my chance, baited the quarterback, inside, open shoulder, and picked the ball.
Is that the interception ball right there?
Oh, yes, it is. Yes.
What are you going to do with it?
This is going to be added to the collection.
Ball back down 6. What was the conversation amongst the defense on the sideline? There was a couple of touchdown drives.
Really, our captain, he was just expressing to us, this is not going to happen again. We going to win this game on defense. That was a big, testimony to us finishing, what we need to do this whole season.
What was going wrong on the previous 2 drives there?
I wouldn't say nothing going wrong. They get paid too, to make plays. They play makers. So I just felt like they got us. Wait for us to fight back, and get the dub.
It seems like the theme with this team this year has been next man up.
Yeah.
How big was Isaac for you guys tonight out there?
Oh, he was very big. When a guy goes down, it's next man up in our room. It ain't no drop off. To whatever DB comes in the game, they're gonna always have the same work and same work ethic.
So one thing I will say though is that with Isaac Garendo, he looked way more confident running the football, especially in the second half. And I thought he brought a lot of energy to the Niners offense. And that was great to see because Mason went down and I got a little nervous. I'm like, oh no, if Mason goes down, now what are we going to do? But they were able to figure it out. And as we start to wrap things up, I did want to bring this up. This was a big deal that happened after the game. A reporter tweeted out about Trayvon Diggs saying that he doesn't know football. Diggs got mad and he had an altercation with that reporter in the locker room or outside the locker room. Let's go to that right now.
Took from that? Out of that whole play, that's what you took from that? You don't know football. You can't do nothing that I do. You can't go out there and do nothing. Stay in your lane, buddy. Stop playing with me, bro.
Just asking a question, Trayvon. I mean, I'm happy to have you answer the question.
Out of that whole play, that's what you took for that? That's what you got from that whole play, that's what you got from that?
I'm asking you. We can talk about it more. What were you doing there?
He's all talk about these nuts.
Took from that?
I mean, look, this is an overall meltdown. I mean, the Cowboys are fighting with reporters. This was a tough loss for them as well.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And to see him arguing with the fucking
that's
the
Jerry's
reporter.
world. That's Jerry's world right now.
It absolutely is. Now, this is the good thing about coming out of the bye week, and I wanted to show you guys this. Coming out of the bye week, we have Christian McCaffrey coming back after the bye. Dre Greenlaw coming back after the bye. Jennings coming back after the bye. I mean, we're only going to get stronger as long as we can stay healthy. The fact that Christian McCaffrey is coming back after the bye is going to be fucking huge for this offense. They absolutely need him.
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Now, this does probably mean that when he comes back, that Gorendo will take a smaller role in the offense because obviously you have CMC and JP Mason, but I still think they'll find ways to get him the ball. But I'm so excited to see Christian McCaffrey back in an Irish uniform on the field. And this team is primed to go on a run.
Yeah.
Look at their next games.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
When you look at their next games, you got the Buccaneers, right? Then you got Seattle. And then you got Green Bay. And then you got the Bills. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like we can win all 4 of those games.
Yeah.
All 4 of them.
The writing's on the wall. It's going to be up to them to get that reset, get guys healthy, get them rested up, utilize this bye week to just, lick your wounds and refocus. Look at your shortcomings. Look at everything that the Niners have been struggling with to this point, and play winning football, finish games. I think this is all coming at the right time. Like I said, we've seen this before. This narrative where the Niners are limping into the bye week. They're scratching, clawing, doing whatever they can to bide some time until these guys can get healthy, and then you get all your weapons back and you really start playing Niner football. So obviously CMC has been a big void in this offense, and he's going to start taking a lot of pressure off of our playmakers. They're going to find space. They're going to get open. Brock Purdy's going to do his thing. You got the threat of him using his legs to gash defenses and some crucial downs. You hope that for the back end of the season that they can just stay healthy, because if they can, this team can be very dangerous. Nobody's going to want to play this team if they start getting hot at the right time.
Absolutely. Okay, so guys, as we wrap things up, guys, let's go around. Let's do game balls. Dre, who do you got for your game ball?
You know what? Today's game ball is going to go to the rookie behind Brock Purdy. I'm going to give it to Isaac Gorendo. Once JP went down, do we become one-dimensional? Are we going to abandon the run? Kyle Shanahan, I think, manned up. He sacked up. He trusted the rookie, and he let him do his thing. And I think that change of pace speed caught the Cowboys defense off guard, and he was able to hit them, pretty much with that playmaking ability and his gift of his speed. So you got to look at his contributions, 85 yards, on 16 carries and a touchdown. He played a crucial part in this game.
Absolutely.
So that goes to he gets my game ball too.
All right, Daniel.
Let's go, George Kittle, baby.
Yeah.
The old follow through. Come on now.
He had a
huge
big
game.
second half, dude.
Yeah,
big
he had a great
half.
game. He was that valve that Purdy needed, and he came through. Yeah, he came through clutch. And he's such a great teammate, such a crazy character to have out there on the field. So getting him involved in the game, and plus he caught his 500th catch as a Niner tonight.
Wonderful.
So hats off to Kittle, man. He gets the game ball from me.
Yeah, I mean, he joined the ranks of Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, and I think it was it Roger Craig?
Yeah.
So he's up there with the greats. That was awesome. My game ball goes to Brock Purdy, because in the first half, I thought he lost his mojo. I was like, dude, what's going on with this guy? He's not executing. He's not being accurate. What's happening with him? In the second half, he completely turned it around, and that's what franchise quarterbacks do. Yeah. They persevere and they overcome adversity, and that's if this game showed anything, it showed that Brock Purdy can overcome adversity, overcome a bad first half, and come out and show that he is an elite quarterback and have a great second half. His running ability, the throws he made in the second half, I thought he was phenomenal tonight.
Definitely.
And so he gets my game ball. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap things up for post-game live. I'll be live again on Tuesday for the NorCal Sports Report on IE Sports Radio. That'll be at 11 a.m. on Wednesday. And if I have enough time, I'm gonna try to work out and do another 4th and 1 49ers sports talk with CG Ruthless. So stay tuned for that. And of course, we'll be live again next week. Well, not next week, but the week after next for a post game live. Actually, what I wanted we're gonna go, but I wanted to show you guys this. I thought it was fucking hilarious. So this is because the Jets lost to the fucking Patriots.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's who would win, the 2024 Jets super teams or Jacoby Brissett and the power of friendship?
The power of friendship. Oh my god.
Oh man. Oh,
Jacoby Brissett and friends.
Friends.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I thought that was great.
Wow.
Hilarious.
And
The
then
Jets are done.
They're in
I don't know.
shambles.
I don't know if you guys saw this or not. It's just it's so stupid. I was like, oh my god. But today in Miami, they released the Dwayne Wade statue. Have you guys seen this thing?
Oh no.
Yeah,
What is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
I have not seen it. Let me see. Come
It's
on.
fucking terrible. That's it right there.
What? Oh, they straight up butchered him, dude. Who
That's
is that?
Dwayne Wade.
Who is that guy? That's not Dwayne Wade.
Everyone has made the comparison
Oh my
online that it looks like what's his name? Morpheus. What's the guy's name?
Morpheus. Yeah.
Get some shades on him, bro.
Yeah.
That
Lawrence
looks
Fishburne. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Get a trench
horrible.
coat, some shades, and hell yeah, that's
Wow.
not on.
Look at the way Wade's like, man, what the fuck is that?
That ain't me, dog.
That ain't me, dog. What is that?
Oh, Lord.
And so
Oh.
if you go online, there's a bunch of a bunch of memes.
They butchered his face, and oh my god!
Look at this one.
Yeah, it looks just
Oh,
like
Lord.
it. It looks just like it.
It's so horrible.
Oh, it's terrible, man.
And this was he's like inspiration. This is the one for Cristiano Ronaldo. It looks like this is terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Look at his eyes.
Oh Lord,
His eyes are hella close together.
Yeah.
they're crooked.
It looks like Jaimon Hansu. Like
There
a
you
zombie.
go.
Yeah, there it is.
Hey, there is Morpheus. There he is.
Oh no, he looks like the zombie from
Han Solo, Carbonite. Oh, this guy. But you look at that.
Oh my god,
That's terrible.
Wow. They literally probably just threw that together.
I don't know, but it looks so terrible.
I mean, did he get like the final blessing on that, or was he just like?
I don't
hey,
think
we
he had
got
a choice. I think they were like, all
surprise
right,
for
we're
you.
done.
He got
We're
stung
done.
by
Show
You're
up.
You're gonna like this.
he got stung by a bee on the forehead, dude. This is all swollen, man.
It's so bad. Dude.
Wow.
Oh my god. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for Post Game Live. Remember, this show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save $20 on your first purchase over at SeatGeek.com. This show's also brought to you by BetUS. Use promo code DreArea Sports for making your bet over at BetUS. They will match you up to $125 on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000. So definitely check out BetUS. And of course, we're brought to you by PowerBrandSystems. Use promo code 300POWER and the referral link in the description below to make your first purchase over at PowerBrandSystems. They will create a badass website to fit the needs of your small business or your social media or YouTube channel. So definitely check out Power Brand Systems. And if you want to support the channel, go over to nicotina.net. That's the homepage for all 3 of my channels. And join the membership over on DreArea Sports. Memberships start as low as $1. $1. And that helps support the channel. It keeps the lights on. It keeps the StreamYard paid off. And it keeps us rolling here on the DreArea Sports channel. Guys, thank you for coming out here and delivering a fire show like always.
Thanks.
Niners win.
Let's go.
Niners win 30-24
Yes.
over the Cowgirls.
Needed that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we did.
Fuck yeah, we did. Fuck those Cowboys. All right, guys, we'll see. Go ahead.
I'll be in Tampa for that game in 2 weeks.
You're going to the game?
I'm going to that game.
Oh,
yeah.
We have an insider.
Let's go. Let's go.
A correspondent.
Report back. Absolutely.
Get some locker room interviews.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Just hop the
Crash
fence
that
to
party.
get in there.
You'll see me in that pirate ship. taking it
Yeah,
over.
the pirate ship. Fucking getting arrested.
Hell
Captain Dre Sparrow.
Dre Sparrow.
As I see it. I'll be there repping.
All right, you guys. We'll catch you guys next time. And of course, Niners win 30-24. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.